Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about gel manicures. Are they safe and what should you know about them? If you're new here, welcome. My name is Andrea. I'm a board certified dermatologist. I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the thumbs up. It really helps my video out a lot. I love starting every morning, as you guys know, with a cup of my Four Sigmatic ground mushroom coffee, and I just wanted to let you guys know really quickly that right now they are having their winter sale. You can get up to 50% off of their products, and if you use the link in my description box, you can get an additional 10% off. Four Sigmatic is sponsoring today's video. Gel manicures have been popular for a really long time. They're not going anywhere. Even with stay-at-home orders, people are doing gel manicures at home themselves, or there are even services I've seen where a manicurist will actually come to your home and do them for you. People love them, they're super durable, and they look really nice. Are they safe though? The short answer is yes. However, in today's video, I'm gonna get into the nitty-gritty of gel nail manicures, what you should know about them, and stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm gonna share with you guys some tips and strategies to protect your nails if you're getting gel manicures. The first problem that arises with gel manicures is that they leave the nail very thin and brittle. This is due to a combination of things. Some of the ingredients in the polish itself, and the fact that the polish stays on the nail for so long, and it doesn't really allow for moisture transfer to the nail plate. As a result, the nail plate becomes very dehydrated. And then you have the issue with the removal of the polish. Either the nail, ideally, to remove the polish, the nail is soaked in acetone, and acetone is very drying on the nail plate. Unfortunately, some places, they don't even take the time to appropriately soak the polish. They start picking it off, and that is very damaging to not only your nail plate, but also your cuticles and the nail matrix. That's a part of the nail that actually makes your nail, and that will lead to ridging, and brittle nails make your nails very fragile and prone to breakage. Because basically that picking of that hard gel polish off traumatizes the nail quite a bit. When you seek out a manicurist, ask in advance how they're going to remove the polish. Ideally, it's going to be with acetone, and of course, you know, acetone is drying. There's no way around that, but it's much better for the nail than a harsh file, some sort of sanding device, or, you know, kind of picking and chipping away at it. That is very, very damaging to the nail plate and to the health of the nails. As we get wiser, we're more prone to brittle nails. It's just a part of life. And so if you have been getting gel manicures for years and you're getting up there in age, you know, you may really start succumbing to the brittle nail piece of this. I have a prior video on brittle nails, and one key component of building strong, healthy nails is making sure that you have a diet that has protein. That is kind of those are the building blocks of strong, healthy nails. That can come from fish, meat, eggs, legumes, a variety of plant sources. You guys know I love to have protein powder in my diet. I like to incorporate it in smoothies and in baked goods, and I love the Four Sigmatic plant-based protein. The sweet vanilla flavor is one of my favorites. Their proteins are made with real ingredients, no fillers, even real vanilla. Not only do I enjoy incorporating it into smoothies, but I also have been a huge fan of making these protein muffins you guys have seen throughout my vlogs. I'll put the recipe down below in the description box as a side note if you are interested, but I just love having these things throughout the week as an on-the-go snack, and the protein bakes so well in these little muffins. It's delicious. It's not sugary sweet. It's not, you know, there's no artificial taste to it. It's all natural ingredients. It's nutrient dense and crafted with pure plant protein, as well as functional mushrooms, adaptogens. There are no fillers, no grains, no gums. It's super easy to digest. I know a lot of people have issue with protein powder, so I suggest the Four Sigmatic. It's really easy to digest. It's vegan, so dairy-free. Their website is super easy to navigate too. Like, you know, you can shop by protein. They also have amazing coffees. And if you are looking for something that is free of caffeine, it's pretty easy to filter out their products based on that. So, you know, sometimes you guys ask me which ones are caffeine free and which ones aren't. The website makes it super easy to navigate them. The other frequent question that I get is, do these taste like mushrooms? They don't. If you detest mushrooms, don't worry. These taste nothing like mushrooms. The mushrooms are added and you don't even know they're in there, but they provide an additional nutrient source. Mushrooms are packed with antioxidants and prebiotic fibers, which are good for your gut health. And you wouldn't know they were in there. They do, in my opinion, enhance the flavor profile. They almost bring out the flavors like of the coffee and the elixirs. It's really amazing. Strongly encourage you to check out their products. And right now they're having an amazing sale, up to 50% off, which is a great time to try these out. If you've ever wondered what they were like, but you're kind of on the fence, you can get a really good deal. And again, if you use the link in my description box, you can get an additional 10% off your order. You guys, the protein powder is amazing. And if you are just looking for an additional source of protein, check it out. You're really gonna like it. Protein is such an important part of building strong, healthy nails, hair. It's important for our skin, and it can be hard to fit it into your everyday diet. And so I highly encourage checking out their protein powder. The second issue with gel manicures is that they use either a UV lamp or a LED lamp to harden the polish. Why is this a problem? Both of these emit UVA. UVA is the type of ultraviolet radiation, mostly from the sun, that penetrates very deeply into the skin, destroys collagen, and is associated with skin cancer. Now, the UV lamps emit much more UVA than the LED, so those are safer. The LED is going to be a safer bet than the UV lamps. Not only that, the LED, at least my understanding, is that the LED lamps harden the polish faster, so you're exposed to it during a shorter window of time. You know, how safe are these long term? Truthfully, there have been studies actually examining this, and it seems as though the dosage that you're exposed to through a gel manicure is very, 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 very low risk and unlikely to put you at increased risk for skin cancer. But one thing that's interesting about these studies, and actually not surprising, is that they looked at a variety of lamps used in different salons throughout a given city, and they noted tremendous variability in the outputs of UVA. And so that's kind of concerning. You never really know to what how much you're being exposed to. But overall, it seems as though it is a very low amount in terms of putting you at risk for a skin cancer, namely squamous cell carcinoma, which certainly does happen on the backs of the hands. However, UVA is really a major factor in aging of skin, in skin aging. It destroys collagen. It's responsible for much of the, a lot of the visible signs of photoaging. The backs of our hands really show many of the signs of aging very early and bother people cosmetically quite a bit. If you think about it, our hands, they are really exposed to so many environmental stressors. They see a lot of sun exposure. They're often neglected, and we're always touching things that disrupt our moisture barrier, weaken our skin barrier, make us more vulnerable. Our hands are exposed to the elements, cold wind, it dries out the moisture barrier, making it even more vulnerable. And once we start getting into our 30s, the amount of collagen that we produce in our skin starts to drop, and this results in thinning of the skin. We also start losing elastic tissue, and that really shows up on the backs of the hands with prominent veins. And you can kind of start to appreciate thinning of the skin of the back of the hands. You also can start to see sunspots arising, and so the fact that you would be putting yourself under more exposure to those UVA rays is concerning. Even though cumulatively they don't seem to play a major role in generating the DNA mutations that lead to skin cancer, they're still likely damaging your skin. So I think personally it's better to go with the LED lamps because they emit less and you're exposed to them for a shorter amount of time. Hands are really a neglected territory when it comes to the anti-aging realm. People are becoming more aware of the importance of wearing sunscreen and putting it on their face, but they often neglect their hands. Or maybe they put it on the hands, but then they never reapply it. And you wash your hands, boom, it's pretty much gone. So you do need to be reapplying sunscreen to really ward off those visible signs of photoaging. And think about how many gel manicures you're getting. If you are somebody who frequently gets them, that over time might be adding up to further contribute to aging of your hands. And so stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll plug in some measures that you can take to reduce these risks. But the next issue with gel manicures that a lot of people don't realize is that some people might be at risk for phototoxicity from the exposures because they are on certain medications that make them more sensitive to UV. This can affect your nails. It's something called phototoxicity. Some medications make you so sensitive to the sun that for whatever reason, it will trigger your nails to lift off and shed. Classically, this occurs with a medication that a lot of people take for a variety of things called doxycycline. Doxycycline is an oral antibiotic that is used to treat a variety of infections, but we use it in dermatology a lot to treat things like acne and a variety of other inflammatory skin conditions. As a side note, I do have a dedicated video on doxycycline, so check that out if that is a medication that you're on for a skin condition, you want to learn more about it. But a side effect of doxycycline is something called phototoxicity, basically nail shedding due to an increased sensitivity to sunlight. And so if you are on that medication, putting your nails under the UV could trigger that. So that is problematic. There are a variety of other medications as well associated with phototoxicity and just an overall increased sensitivity to UV. Not only can medications affect your skin's sensitivity to UV, but also your eyes. And so some people, are kind of looking at the LED lamps, and if you are on one of these medications, that can increase the risk of damage to your eyes. So be very careful before you get a gel manicure or you're gonna employ some sort of LED or UV lamp. Always discuss with your doctor the medications that you are taking. Ask if any of them make you more at risk for phototoxicity. It's very, very important. And if you are on one of these medications, I would caution you against doing the gel manicures for that reason. You don't want your nails to peel off. It can be very uncomfortable and debilitating. People underestimate how valuable nails are to our dexterity, picking things up. When you lose your nails, it actually is quite debilitating. There are many diseases in dermatology where people lose the nails and they have to have prosthetic nails in order to have the same dexterity and function. It's a really important part of function. So don't underestimate the power of your nails in your day-to-day life. To summarize, gel manicures, they're safe, but you are exposing yourself to some additional risks and insults to the nail, namely UVA from either a UV lamp or an LED lamp, and that may contribute to photo aging of the hands further. And you also are weakening the nail itself, leading to thinning nails. And if you are on a medication, it can really have some serious consequences in terms of that risk of phototoxicity. What can you do as a lover of gel manicures to minimize these issues? Do your research on the manicurist that you are going to see. Ask questions and interrogate. Find out what type of lamp they're using. It's better, in my opinion, to go with someone who is using an LED lamp as opposed to a UV lamp, because you're going to be exposed to a shorter window of UVA exposure and overall less UVA exposure, so it minimizes the risk of damage from UVA. Also, interrogate them about how they are going to take your polish off. If they're gonna be, in a hurry and they're not gonna take the time to soak the polish off in acetone, that is a red flag, because they're basically going to be damaging your nail by chipping off the polish, filing it away. Remember in my thinning nails video, I pointed out how really rough nail files can be very damaging to the nail. Yeah, combine that with trying to pick off the polish, can really be damaging to the nail matrix and ultimately seriously affect the health of your nail long term. Before you go, apply sunscreen to your hands, your fingers, and wear gloves that you cut the fingers off. You cut the fingertips off so that just your fingertips are exposed. That way you don't expose the backs of your hands unnecessarily. So definitely do that. And the other thing to do for sure, although I know, depending on, your lifestyle, it might actually be kind of a pain, but definitely take breaks from the gel manicures, 1 to 2 weeks at least. This will give your nail time to recover and to rehydrate, and it will help long-term the health of your nails for sure. So take a break from it. It's really important. Make sure you moisturize a lot, especially during the break where you don't have any polish on. I recommend using moisturizers that have urea in them. These have been shown to help with nail plate health overall. I've shared some urea moisturizers in prior videos. I'll link that video down below for you guys, so check that out. But urea is a really good ingredient for the nail plate and the nail health. The other thing to do is to use petrolatum, like an ointment, Vaseline, for example, around the cuticles to keep them healthy and help the nail ultimately. So that's a very good moisturizing ingredient to just really help with nail plate hydration long term. When you go to the manicurist or when you do your manicures at home, I mentioned this in my brittle nails video, but don't clip your cuticles. When you cut the cuticle, you basically expose the nail matrix to water getting in there, which can contribute to brittle nails, and bacteria and infections. So just leave the cuticles alone. It's okay if you get them soft with water and you want to push them back. That's okay to gently push them back, but avoid cutting them. That really can make your nails very brittle with time, and it's just not good. I mean, the cuticle has a function to keep the nail matrix protected from infectious microorganisms. So don't go cutting the cuticles back. And if you're already doing the gel manicures, doing the cuticle cutting will put you, more at risk for severely brittle nails down the road. When the polish starts to come off, and it starts to chip, do not, mindlessly pick at it. I am someone who I would probably want to pick it off. I'm not gonna lie. I can see how that would be a strong desire to just pick it off, but avoid doing that because it's very traumatic to the nail matrix, and that can lead to brittle nails for sure. So don't pick it off. For removing the gel manicure, what you're gonna wanna do if you do this yourself is you're gonna wanna use acetone to remove it. Now, before doing it, take some Vaseline, petrolatum, and just take it on a little Q-tip and run it along your cuticles so that you create a little seal so that the acetone, which is very drying, it doesn't dry out your cuticles and doesn't dry out and irritate the skin around your nails. So do that first, and then take some little cotton pads, cut them to fit the size of your nail, soak them in the acetone, and then apply them to the nail and wrap them on there with plastic wrap or saran wrap. I see a lot of people using aluminum foil, but plastic wrap is actually better. It creates a nice tight seal that will reduce the risk of the acetone dripping around to the neighboring skin. And so just do that, leave it on there for 10 minutes, and then take off the plastic wrap. Wash your hands to remove the acetone. If there's still polish left on the nail plate, you can use a washcloth or a cotton ball to wipe it off, but don't pick or try and buff it off, because again, it's gonna damage the nail plate and the matrix and thin things out. And then after you do that and you've washed the acetone off, moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. Petrolatum ointment is really good. Just Vaseline, and again, urea is another really good ingredient to be using on the nail plate for the health of the nails. And for your everyday life, make sure you protect your hands from ultraviolet radiation. And you guys see me in the car, I always wear sun protective gloves, or try to always wear them. That can really help, because sunscreen, you need to do that, but it's obviously gonna rub off a lot, and it just gets to be something that's really hard to stay on top of. So that's just one additional measure that you can take to protect your hands. And just be very mindful of your hands, and care for them. Don't forget to use moisturizers. And after you wash your hands or handle things, that might be irritating to the skin, like foods and things like that, always rinse the skin, wash your hands, and put on moisturizer right away to just really help the moisture barrier and allow the skin to be able to better protect you from environmental stressors that are gonna age your skin, including, namely the backs of your hands. I hope these tips on your tips were helpful. Don't forget to check out the 4 Sigmatic sale, you guys. I know y'all are big fans, and those of you who have been on the fence, now is the time to check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.